Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a great day. As we are getting closer and closer to Christmas time in the city, guys. Merry Christmas to everyone. How's everybody doing? I hope you all had a really good day shopping and whatever you're doing, last minute stuff. And if you're still iffy with some shopping that you may have to do tomorrow morning, but don't fret because our show right after this will give you an idea what to shop, what these last minute shopping ideas that are really cool and all kinds of recipes and everything. But right now, we are going to wait for our special guest, which is Jose MOTA, courtesy of Nitin Sports Rush and his team. Jose's coming on in just a little bit, and we're going to talk Dodger baseball, and we're going to talk about MLB Network stuff and teams and how we got started and all that good stuff. Guys, first of all, welcome to the show, Evan and Sean. Again, happy holidays to you guys. That's number one. Number two, I wanted to say I was a little disappointed in Yankee Hot Stove tonight. They were on, and then within 10 minutes, they started talking basketball with Frank Isola. So that's pretty scary that they can't even do a full show of Yankees by itself. Take it away, guys.
Well, what's going on, guys? Hope all is well. Hope everybody in the chat is doing well tonight. Fun show for you guys. We got Jose Mota coming on very soon. Talk about the Dodgers, talk about his career as a broadcaster with the Angels, Dodgers. So it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully, we'll get some more insight on what these teams do as far as signing players and all that. But with the Yankees hot stove, we can't really expect too much for them to say much. For them to say a lot, but we should at least hear something. Usually they last about like an hour on the show. Tonight it was like half an hour. Talked a little bit about Bellinger, Imai. Usually we should get a clue or two of what they're planning to do, but again, the Yankees aren't going to tell us a lot, and either way, Jack Curry, who pretty much works for them, isn't going to tell us a lot anyway. So hopefully we'll find out very soon, though. I mean, we know Bellinger, Scott Boras, and the Yankees are a little bit off in terms of the years that they want. Obviously, the Yankees want 5 years, and Boras and company want 7. So they just have to find, a gap in negotiations there. But hopefully they get something done soon, and or else Bellinger could go anywhere else, the Mets, Dodgers, perhaps, or really any other third team that comes out of the woodshed. But as far as Imai goes, too, they talked a little bit about that. I was more confident about a week ago that they would sign him. Now my confidence level is dropping a little bit. I hope they can still get something done, but if they don't get him, guys, I think we're in a little bit of trouble here.
Again, we'll just wait and see because this team is incomplete right now. And like I said yesterday, if you think that's bad, look at the Mets.
Yeah.
Sean,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts there, small boy?
Well, let me just put it this way. Scott Boras is doing what Scott Boras does best. Hold the market hostage and ask crazy demands like a 7-year deal when no team is really willing to go. I'd understand if it was like a few teams that were willing to be like, hey, yeah, we'll do it. But just the market's moving really slow. And you see a lot of these deals that are happening. These guys are getting a lot of 1 and 2 year deals, and maybe some 3 years. I mean, and then even when you look at like, okay, Cease and what's his name, Schwarber, they got what 5, 6 year deal.
Yep.
Schwarber got 5. He's
Five.
got 7.
5. Cease got 7. I mean, but then after that, all you see really is like 5 and under, 5 years and under. I mean, you don't see a lot of things. And then plus, I mean, but this is Boris is normal. He's going high. Teams go low. They find in the middle, but you got to wait for that. And that's the part that's frustrating. And I'm still confident that we can get Amaya, and I'm still confident we can get Bellinger, but I'm willing to wait and see before I really react. I'm not gonna jump up and say, "Yeah, we're gonna get these guys," and then have it not be so, and then I'm gonna be sitting there with egg on my face.
Hmm.
So
Oh yeah, I like to see that. Egg on your face. You know, when the general managers, especially Cashman, has to deal with what's his name there, Boris. I think he does this. That's what he does. And then when he goes to Cashman, this is what happens. I'm telling you guys, it's real crazy. And then I mean really, you get to the point where what the heck is going on? I have never seen such. It was a dismal winter. From all the good that they did in the trade deadline, it was so dismal in the winter meetings. It's been so dismal in the off season. How are they going to justify this? I mean, and Jack Curry again tonight, Mr. Debbie Downer. He doesn't see Imai as the Yankee as a front runner for the Yankees. So what? And as far as Bellinger, he was saying that the bottom line is look at what the other guys get, and Boris is eating that all up. And he said they're one-dimensional players. This guy can play center, first, right field, left field, DH, do this, do that. Great outfielder, throws people out. So if they're worth what they're worth, then he's got to be worth at least another 25 to 30 million. And that's where the problem is. But I don't care what anybody says. I still believe the bottom line is the Yankees are bidding against themselves. I don't care. I think all the teams realize that this guy wants to play for the Yankees. And that's it. He wants to play for the Yankees. Hey, Benji. Yep, he should be coming up any moment. So if you have questions, Benji, for MOTA, for Jose Mota, please, by all means, ask him, and I'll fire it away to him. No problem.
Right. And no, what I was gonna say too is to add it, although what's going against Scott Boras is that Cody Bellinger has had down years in between his good years.
Yeah.
He won NL MVP in 2019. And what was it? 2020 was kind of down year, but I mean it was kind of a COVID shortened season.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, but then 2021, he was still kind of down. 2022, it was okay. And then 2023 and 2024, he started getting back up.
Yep. And 25 was a good year.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I got good news for you, and I believe he's ready. He just gave me a wave and a thumbs up, and we're going to bring up the star of the show. And Merry, 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 Merry Christmas to Jose Mota. How you doing, sir?
Doing great. How about you guys? How are you guys doing? Sorry about the delay there. A little problem with the link.
No, don't worry about it. You're not late. We're actually early because we had set it for 7, and you were very kind of you to come on right before Christmas.
Oh, here we are, man. Let's talk baseball.
Yeah.
All right.
First of all, we want to ask you a couple of things, about your family. But you have Sean here, you have Evan here, and Joe.
Yes,
and we want to welcome you to NY Mania, NY Yankee Mania. Thank you so much for coming on. First of all, happy holidays to you, your family, and everybody, Dad, everybody combined. I hope you have a healthy and a good holiday season. How's it going so far?
Well, I am thrilled and honored that you guys have me on your show. I know we tried to schedule this for a few months, and we finally got it done. Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy holidays. Many, many blessings to all of you guys. And thank you for welcoming me. It's a great scenario. I know that anytime I see a Yankees logo, to me is like, here we go, man. We're going to talk about championship baseball. So Even though it's been a little bit of a drought, the Yankees are still the Yankees, as Manny Ramirez always said, and we have the utmost respect for them. So, thanks for having me.
Oh, are you kidding? It's an honor, and just that you did it a day before Christmas Eve is just amazing, and I can't thank you enough. Um, when did first of all, how is your dad? And that's number one. And how are they doing? And your family? That's important. How's it going with them?
Dad's doing quite well. As you know, he suffered a stroke back in April, and
Yes.
he's doing quite well. Thank God. He's a man of a will to live, to do the work, to help people out, and to contribute to society. So, thankfully, he's made a very nice recovery. We get to spend a lot of time with him. We get to
God
see him
bless.
flourish every single week, getting better. And he's nonstop. He's doing what he likes to do, which is talking baseball, watching baseball, and sharing all the things that he's able to get through baseball with people that are in need. So we're very thankful. Thanks for asking.
Is he still? Are they in L.A. or where are they?
He's in LA. He's in LA. My mom passed away back in 2023, so he's here in
Oh,
LA
I'm sorry to
with
hear
my
that.
sister. Yeah, so but he's doing quite well.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, I was a young pup, but I remember the World Series 77, 78, and your dad came up, and he was. I didn't see him in his heyday. I saw him a little bit later, but I could see what the magic was with the man, and how people cared about him, and his playing days were amazing, and he was on some amazing teams. So kudos to him. You got to be very proud to have a figure like that, and that leads to my next question. Having a famous baseball player as a dad, as a figure, how do you go about it? How were you like running to school? Hey, my dad plays for the Los Angeles Dodgers, or wherever. How did you cope with it, and how did you perceive to say, you know what, this is what I want to do, even if I don't play the game. I'm going to master being an announcer and an analyst. How did that all come about?
We grew up, in the Dominican Republic and in LA, so we split our year between school, which I did all throughout high school in the Dominican. Then we spent the summers in LA, or when I was born, my dad was playing for the Pirates, so it was between Pittsburgh, a little bit of Montreal, and Los Angeles, obviously, which is our home now. And we, as kids of a major figure, public figure, we understood what we were. We also understood the responsibility, the privilege, the blessing that came with that. But being able to share with our friends, stories about Tommy Lasorda, who I have here with me in my hat,
Yeah.
Steve Garvey and Dunn Sutton and Reggie Smith and Dusty Baker and Steve Sachs and Pedro Guerrero. I mean, it was truly a blessing. Or Hershiser and so many others. And beyond that, the fact that my dad was so active in the winter time with this team, playing and managing, that we got to see a lot of these guys before they became stars. We're talking about, Garvey and Yeager and Pashorek, Mike Sosha, Earl Hershiser, all these guys that became major influencers with the Dodgers we saw beforehand as my
Yes.
dad, kind of tutored them around back in the Dominican and managed them, and he instructed them. And but we're very fortunate, very privileged. We never took it for granted. I mean, there's some days in which obviously we understood if a team was not doing very well, we couldn't go in the clubhouse, and that was like just fine. We understood that, and respectfully, we learned a lot from those players. Those players taught us a whole lot. It wasn't just about Manny Mota and us. It was about that village called Dodger Stadium and the Dodger family and the community that really embraced all of us. But also back in the Dominican, at least we were able to learn from my parents, Manuel and Margarita, the importance of giving back and sharing your gifts and sharing everything that you have. As the Lord has given you, you continue to give, and we learned that from them too. So we pass that along to our kids and to our grandkids. But I think the influence of my father, beyond just the playing ability, is what he's done, in so many communities throughout Latin America and the United States. And, no matter what, we learned the game from the best people that were playing. You mentioned 77, 78. I mean, those playoffs. We were bat boys. Me and my brothers. We were bat boys. We were ball boys. We worked in a clubhouse. But my dad always said that, well, number one thing is now that you guys try to become like me as players, I want you to go to school. And that was the most important thing. That's why I take a lot of pride in saying that I graduated from the University of Cal State Fullerton in communications. And that has actually helped me even more in my career as a broadcaster. So having grown up to, as we encompass all this thing about the values of my story, is the fact that not were we only around players, but we were around the best broadcasters. Talk about Vince Skelly.
Of course.
Reen, and then all the visiting broadcasters that came along. I mean, Harry Carey I got to meet, Tony Kubik, and Bob Costas. And through the years, Joe Garagiola. I mean, Jack Buck was my first. Charlie Steiner, obviously, came a little bit later and got to work with him. But through the years, I was able to go to those booths as a 7, 9-year-old and understand and learn. So, we've been, the Lord's given a lot to us. We're able to learn and pass it along, and certainly we feel quite blessed.
That's awesome. What's it like, though, now you growing up with mom and the family, and dad is always traveling. How did you come to grips with that? Did you ever turn around and say, hey, Mom, but I don't understand. Dad's not around. I know he plays baseball, but how does a family cope with knowing that, the husband's out for a while, the father's out, the grandfather's, whatever it is? How do you cope with that?
Mom. I mean, my dad always said, you guys give me all the trophies and privileges and awards, but Mom is the MVP. It was true. I mean, my mom carried the load. My dad was gone for many, many months at a time. And then during the season, even if we were in LA, he was traveling half of the time. So she carried the load. She with 8 kids going through airports and stopovers and layovers. And I mean, all those things that happened where she was fabulous. Just she proudly did it. Hard-working woman. We learned a whole lot from her for all the love she has for God and all the love that she provided for some people. They both came from zero privileges. They came from poverty. They understood how to keep in touch with those people.
Right.
But also, in the travels, it was a time also in which we needed to grow up a little quicker, because I remember my mom would always say, hey, your dad's not here. You're the man of the house. So I'm like, oh, how cool that is. Wow, I feel like so important right now, right? And she passed it along to all of us. I mean, there's 8 of us, 6 boys and 2 girls. My older sister, Cecilia, is the one that obviously also was very close to my mom in that regard and tending to all of us and things like that. But I'll tell you what, there's not enough said about the wives, because when somebody gets traded, somebody gets released, somebody gets designated for assignment, and you're in limbo for so many days, and then you have to move city to city, you get demoted. I mean, things like that happen often, and I think the wives are not given enough credit. And on top of that is the education of the kids. We all want continuous education and consistent education for our kids, but in baseball and in sports, for wives, it's quite tough. So I really applaud those women, especially my mom, because between keeping everybody in line, schooling, keeping the house clean, travel, making sure that dad is taken care of in terms of his needs when he's home, and then, the phone calls. There was no cell phones back then. So it was like, my dad's going to call at a certain time. Nobody occupy the phone, right? We were encouraged to write a lot of letters too. Writing letters to my dad was very cool, and he would always send us postcards from the many different places and hotels and cities that they went to. So we have those great memories, and my mom always encouraged us to, pray for him, to never take a day for granted, because she was like, hey, your dad is number 24, 25 on a roster, was a pinch hitter. There's no guarantees that he's going to have a job next year. So, it was year to year, but we always understood where we stood. And my mom always kept us kind of in line to say, hey, there's going to be something beyond baseball that to me has helped me a whole lot beyond my playing days.
Well, that is awesome. And thank you for answering that. I always ask a baseball family, how do you cope with it? And, missing birthdays and all of that. And before I give it out to Sean and Evan, I have one other thing I wanted to bring out to you was the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Knicks, and the Lakers have such wonderful memories. It's the only 2 teams or 4 teams that you just know every player. To me, it's just amazing. I mean, I grew up in the Jabbar era. I saw the tip of Wilt Chamberlain, and of course the Garvey, the Lopes, the Russells, the Say, the Yeagers, Reggie Smith, and the list goes on and on. Rick Monday, and so it was, and of course can't forget Dusty Baker.
Right.
I could rattle off the team and the Lakers too. Actually, the Lakers are my favorite basketball team. I've loved them from the time I knew basketball. But I liked the Knicks, but those teams, when the Knicks won the last World Championship, it was just amazing. I mean, I love Gail Goodrich, Johnson, and I mean the list goes on and on. They were just amazing. It was great, and I got to say, it's the two. To me, it's the two best franchises, and they're acting like it right now. But right now, I believe the Dodgers are just. They're just an amazing, and kudos to them. People could say, "Oh, they're buying this." Listen, they're working the system. They're doing it right, and that's the bottom line. I mean, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
There's
been many teams that have won the off season before, the winters before, but number one is how you spend and who you spend it on. So it's not just about spending it; it's making sure that whoever you sign is going to be a fit for your clubhouse, for the city, for the community, and for your chemistry. I mean, chemistry matters. I don't care what anybody says in terms of new age stats. A culture matters a whole lot, and that is what Dave Roberts has been able to cultivate here, as Walter Alston did, as Tommy Lasorda did. And the Dodgers are living right now their best era ever. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no question. Guys, questions?
Yeah, no, I mean, we were talking about all the legendary guys that in baseball lifers like Tommy Lasorda and all this, and Vin Scully. And Vin Scully, the part of the Don Larson perfect game, which was against the Dodgers, the two classic, franchises that had 11 World Series,
Right,
or 12 actual World Series in our history. But Vin Scully's voice is the last voice you hear for that last inning with Don Larson, the only part of the tape that we really get on repeat. But what was it like daily when you're learning how to broadcast and you got a legend like Vin Scully?
it was something that I didn't realize how big it was until now. You know what I mean? It's like back then you're just a little kid, and Vince Scully was so friendly, just saying, "Hey, give your mom a break during the game. Just instead of sitting there in the family section, causing trouble and being loud or stuff, just come up here and sit." And we did that, and it was fabulous because he would give us a headset, an extra headset. He would allow us to count him back from commercial, teach us how to score in his scorebook and keeping score, and just a soothing voice in the way he broadcasted the game. So it's one of those things that really, I repeat myself, didn't hit me that much until I really understood his greatness, his impact, and also his delivery, because he transcended beyond teams and franchises and logos. This was like legendary voice that carried the game the right way. A lot of integrity, a lot of pride, a lot of respect towards the game, and that's something that I try to carry on right now as a broadcaster too, knowing that we are not the stars of the show. No, the players are, and number one, and mainly, the game continues to be the star that allows us to be instruments to carry the game on with the people.
Excellent point. Excellent
That's
point.
my point.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for joining us, Jose. Happy holidays to you and your family, of course. So I wanted to ask, you were previously a broadcaster. What made you choose going into being an analyst for the MLB Network? And do you feel like you were closer to the players? Do you feel like you were able to get more of a sense of how they were feeling and thinking when you went into your new role?
As I was finalizing my baseball career in the minors and a little bit in the big leagues, I knew that I really wanted to do this. So I started surrounding myself with legendary broadcasters and even reporters and sportscasters that came to Dodger Stadium and to the areas. And when I was playing, I would volunteer to be a guy that would help out our minor league broadcasters. And they needed a lot of help just to fill some air, before a game. and they're always welcoming. So when I was in Omaha, Frank Atkinson and I came up with an idea. I'm like, Frank, I want to contribute. I want to learn. I want to get my reps in and understand all about that. And we came up with a MOTA Monday segment every Monday on Omaha Royals radio, right? And that kind of encouraged me a little bit more. And the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. But even back then, as a 6, 7, 8-year-old, and I was traveling here to LA and going up to the booth with Jaime and with Vinny and Jerry Doggett and Ross Porter, I had an inkling towards it because my dad, when the Dodgers did not make the playoffs, he would be a guest analyst with the Dominican broadcasting crew that went to cover the playoffs. And I was back home listening to my dad on the radio. I'm like, that's kind of cool, man. Someday it would be nice to listen to somebody listen to me. Yeah. And I just, kind of had a feel for it, an inclination towards it. I majored in communications. I want to learn more about it. I just didn't want to be a former player that happened to be in the booth. I want to be a complete broadcaster and a journalist to understand more about the profession and pay respect to those that, set the set for us. I mean, Jackie Robinson was the first Afro-American broadcaster for baseball and analyst in baseball. So I'm quite proud to say that here in the Dodgers, here we are. I'm as a Latino and as a black person, I'm quite honored by that. But as I got out of professional baseball, and my wife, very influential in my career. Been married for 37 years plus, going on 38. But she was a USC grad. And she's like, okay, you know what? If you really want to do this, here's some things that you could start working on. So even throughout my career in the minor leagues and the big leagues, I was doing things that perhaps other people weren't doing, but I wanted to do it because I knew there was a life after baseball. And I didn't want it to necessarily be into coaching or scouting, even though that would have been great. But it was not where I was leaning. Where God was taking me was somewhere else. And Vince Kelly himself told me, and Jaime were very encouraging, saying, you have a chance to do something very special because none of us can broadcast in 2 languages. And fortunately, with a push of my wife, well, she's the one that said, you can do it in both languages. So I started to work at it. And that was, a very deep driving force for me to say, nobody's done it. The Angels provided that opportunity. Mr. Tim Mead, forever grateful. And in a flash, I just told you a lot of things that influential people that were with me to push me along. But I always did have a knack and an inkling towards listening to a game on radio, watching a lot of video. I mean, as a player, I watch a lot of video, listen to broadcasters. I recorded a lot of shows. When the VHS came along, man, VCR was like, oh, my God. I was like right down my alley. And then I would record like Sports Center. I would record Baseball Tonight to watch broadcasters and listen to them. So I started getting ideas to what I wanted to do and how the very best did it. And that's the way that things plan out. Thank God.
That's awesome. We have some questions for you, Jose, if you don't mind. Benji is one of your biggest fans. He's absolutely annoyed that you're on here. So thank you, Jose. Who's your favorite Dodger player after your dad?
I can go like generations, right? So I can go with my dad's generation. Wow, there's so many of them, but I always had a very good relationship with Dusty Baker. Dusty was so special. Before that, even before Steve Garvey, and then we go into like Mike Scioscia, Oral Hershiser, and on and on and on and on. Dunn Sutton was very instrumental. Rick Monday, who I got into broadcast with, was one of my favorites. So I can't say I had a favorite. There's so many of them, but none. I mean, nobody beats the guy wearing number 17 right now, right? Everybody loves Shohei Ohtani. I mean, you can't argue with that.
Yeah.
I know.
Do you see him as the greatest player so far in the game? Do you think him and Judge are about even?
I don't even like the comparison because Aaron Judge doesn't pitch.
Right.
And, part of what makes Shohei so special and unique is the fact that he does both things and doesn't just do them. He does them at the highest of levels. So you think about a guy that the season starts when healthy, right away he's a candidate for an MVP, and he's got 4 of those, right? And then he's a candidate for a Cy Young. I mean, come on, that just doesn't happen. Aaron Judge himself is in a special class because I know where he came from, his background, his first step in the big leagues, and everything that he doesn't put up there with that size to become such a unique hitter. Because, it'll be one thing if we're just talking about Aaron Judge's big guy that just happens to hit home runs. Aaron Judge is a complete player, man. And I take a lot of pride in saying that I saw him from the beginning. I saw the improvements. I saw the hunger. In conversations with him, this kid was always focused on becoming the best player he can become without talking about himself, but also wearing the Yankee uniform. Let me tell you, he's right there for me in terms of the way he carries himself, right, with Derek Jeter and my generation of players to carry that uniform, to wear that number, to be so good on both sides of the ball, and to understand the responsibility that comes with playing New York. I can only tip my hat.
Oh yeah. No, I look at Shohei and Judge as the two faces for this generation of baseball, like the two faces of the MLB.
Yep.
I mean, and then and Judge, what I think that gets overlooked is how elite he is defensively.
Oh yes. So let's not forget about one thing too. The Dodgers won this World Series, and a team like Toronto was so good and so deep, and they put so much pressure on you. Think about the Dodgers defense. Without defense, they don't win the championship.
Right.
And it goes back to, I know everybody remembers the Rojas play at home play with a throw and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and all that. And then obviously the Kika play the day before with Rojas. Go back to Andy Pais and not playing center field, left center field. But this goes back to the series against the Phillies. When the defense showed up, thus making the pitchers better, and the offense was actually absent a lot in the postseason, but the defense is always there. So I do admire the fact that, as you bring up, guys have to take pride in defending and playing good defense and being contributors on that side too. And I remember this, and I learned this from Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols always said, I spent 9 years with him here with the Angels. He's like, okay, there's going to be some days, Jose, where I do nothing with the bat, even weeks. Okay? But I also want to make sure that anything that's hit my way, I'm going to catch, because that's going to be my contribution to go to bed that night to say I did something good for the team, even though right now I'm in a 1 for 21 slump, but I'm doing something good with my glove.
Right. Now, we have a question from John O'Neill in the chat.
Hey, John.
A great contributor. He says, question for Jose. How good do you think the 2026 World Baseball Classic will be? I mean, we got Shohei, Judge.
My God.
We got all these stars coming in on it, and then you got so much talent from the international.
Fabulous. And I've been luckily a broadcaster since this was first introduced back in 2006, and I hope to do it again. But let me tell you, this could be the most unique and special one, because now, consider this. At first, there was that, is it going to work or not? It's interrupted spring training, blah, 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 blah. And I kept saying, this is going to help baseball in the long run, because now all these international players that people get to scout, now they're going to get to scout them on the big lights and against the best competition. Well, look what's happened in the next 19, 20 years. Who are the stars now? Right? And think about all these proven stars now. And I'm not taking for granted the Cuban players either, because if he started a Cuban team with just MLB players, oh my goodness. But think about the recognized players now in faces that are going to be part of pretty much almost every single team now, they're considered major baseball influencers. And it's going to be superb. The audiences, the knowledge now of the new rules, the attention to players coming out of Korea or coming out of Japan, which has always been there. But Mexico, tremendous show last time. But I like the fact that there's not so much doubt from players, especially the big names, to go, I'm not sure if I'm going to play or not. It's like from day one, I'm playing. Why? Because some of the guys were looking from the outside when this all began, saying injury and this and a risk, are saying, no, I'm going to go in right now, because it has been proven that you look at years with WCS play and look at the amount of injuries, and it's something to be told. So I'm so glad that the big stars are showing up, and it should be, to me, probably the best classic coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Evan?
Yeah. Jose, in your opinion, obviously the Dodgers have been not only winning World Series, but they've been also a very impressive regular season team. with the Yankees, they've been great in the regular season, but once they get into the playoffs, they sort of, the strikeouts increase, their defensive awareness decreases, and they're just not as good of a team as they are in the regular season. Why do you think that is? And based on what the Dodgers have been doing with their analytic department, what can the Yankees take away from that, and how can they improve, especially in the playoffs?
I can only speak about the Dodgers from what I've seen lately, right? So when I got here in 2022, they came up short. They came up short in 2023. Then obviously things got it better in 2024. What I saw was a consistency in a rounded game. In fact, when you consider in 2024, okay, starting pitching pretty much. I mean, beyond the fact that respectfully, Bueller, Flaherty, Yamamoto. What happens? They never dwelled on that. They're dwelling on, hey, we have a bullpen and we have a very good offensive team. I mean, a slugging team. Slugging doesn't always show up in the postseason in the way it shows up in the regular season because you're playing the best of the best and you're facing the top pitchers. So what if we keep the run production down and run prevention obviously at stake and just get the most we can out of the starters, but make sure that because they can slug, they know that one swing's going to make a difference. Dave Roberts and the staff, Andrew Freeman, Brandon Gomes, and everybody up there in baseball operations has done a great job identifying players that fit the culture too. I go back to the culture. Teoscar Hernandez, 2 years ago, who was he?
Okay, one guy that was beating up on the Yankees, I can tell you that.
Right. And then he's like, the Dodgers thriving in big moments. So you can't measure somebody's heart for 162. And it's hard to say this guy's going to project well in the playoffs. You don't know that. I mean, we know the issues with Aaron Judge in the playoffs. Who wouldn't take Aaron Judge on their team? So it's very hard for me to pinpoint. But the one thing I know is this. At the beginning of 2025, the spring training, I knew that what happened against the Yankees was not going to repeat itself in terms of beating the Yankees by having one guy hit, Freddie Freeman, right? The MVP. I said, it's going to take starting pitching, and the Dodgers need to have healthy starting pitchers towards the end. I don't care how much they slug. They need to have good starting pitching, and that's what happened towards the end. I mean, Dodgers went 15-5 the last 20 games in the regular season, then win 13 games and to get to the World Championship. But it was all driven by starting pitching. So any team knows starting pitcher is number one. The Dodgers were deep enough, resourceful enough, scouted well enough, and had the right pieces together, including a guy like Clayton Kershaw, that there's a time when July, August, it's like, Clayton Kershaw's your number one right now, and he's carrying the load, right? So it's like hard to pinpoint, but I think personnel does have a lot to do with the preparation. The coaches do a fantastic job. The many resources they have, they invest quite well, but also there's that sign of not looking at the injuries. If you look at the Dodgers' injuries, the last 2 seasons, they're right up there with everybody else, but they have enough depth covered, but mainly depth, because you can have the resources and sign the wrong guy, it doesn't pan out. But if you have the depth and understanding who you have in the minor leagues, that's going to carry you a little bit longer. And that's exactly what's going on the last couple of seasons.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah. Also, we're going to, we ask a lot. You grew up in the baseball family, and you've seen so many generations of baseball. What Rob Manfred's done to change the game recently with these different rules, how has that changed baseball as it's played, and what do you think? Is some of them good, or do you think some are bad?
Here's one thing I learned through obviously having been in baseball a lot of years as a son, as a player, now as a broadcaster. The game's going to evolve. I mean, who would have thought that the wild card was going to be alive 30 years ago? People would have gone, no, wild card? How do you get it? Come on. Let them move their division. But look what that's created for baseball. The interest, the last minute. I mean, you think about the end of this season, in September, how many markets were involved, right? And just have a glimpse and a hope to get in, right? That's all created by the wild card, which is wonderful. Now, with changes, to accept them. You know that technology has changed a lot of things, and we cannot leave technology out. I mean, there's some World Series that would have changed instantly back in the 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s. That with the instant replay, the results are different, right? So let's have it right. These umpires are not robots. They're going to make mistakes. That is part of the game too. Players make mistakes. Managers make mistakes. They're allowed to make mistakes too. Yeah, some costly, but at the same time, technology I welcome anytime. The one rule that they had not changed, because having played the infield, the shift, right? The exaggerated shift. Now, I don't like a guy playing half between, half right field. No, I'm not talking about that. I don't like that. But picture perspective, everybody has a trend, right? And a tendency.
Right.
Why should you take away the fact that a guy is pulling the ball 80% of the time? Say, well, we got to open up more holes for more offense. Great, more offense, but how about teaching guys how to use the big part of the field?
Yes.
The other part of the field. And again, I was fine with the shift. I just don't like the exaggerated guy in right field. I don't like that. No. Infielders should play in the infield. But if I have a guy that's going to be pulling the ball to me, but now I'm going to give him a hole just because I want to improve the game, that's one that I really don't agree with. They made some adjustments, some tweaks. It hasn't helped a whole lot, I would say, in terms of guys being guys and just not being able to make adjustments. But I would have loved the shift to say, hey, guys, you know what? Here's the idea. Leave the shift on all of you now. Our team, our organization. We're going to become better hitters. Why? Because they're giving you base hits the other way. Use it. Reggie Jackson came to our booth one time, and there was a big shift put on. I go, Reggie, what would have happened if I had put a shift on you? He goes, oh, my God. I probably would have hit less home runs, but I would have hit 350.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like
the mentality of now, a lot of players are so programmed by the things they give them. They've taken away a little bit of the instincts part of the game. Even the stolen base issue, which to me still is not even used the way it should be used, with the rules and giving them an advantage. You can do more, and you don't need guys to steal 40 or 50 bases that are not. But you know what? So a lot of the biggest stolen bases in the season sometimes came from guys that stole 10, 15 bases because they knew when to run. And I think that's one aspect that today could be used a little bit more. But everything else, I welcome the extra innings. I don't want guys, I don't like games that last 15, 16, 18 innings. I mean, the Dodgers won that 118, which was great, but that was a different rule because there's no guy at second base in the 10th inning. But I think the way pitching is being used right now, you cannot afford to have so many guys parade through a mound, one per inning after the 6th inning, because you're not going to have any pitchers anyways.
Right.
I will make an adjustment with the position players pitching. I don't like that at all. I do not like that at all. I think it's dangerous. I think it's risky. I know it's brings a lot of smiles and laughs and all that, but I don't like it at all. I think that's one thing that right now I would change.
Yeah.
No,
go ahead, Joe.
No, I was going to just answer the question here. Ask the question. Do you like the automatic ball strike system they're going to implement next year?
I do like it. At first, I was a little hesitant, not understanding the whole system, how it worked, but why not? Let's get it right. That's the main thing. Let's just get it right and take that pressure off of the umpires. And what we'll find out is the umpires are actually, for the most part, very good, because there's going to be some controversial calls being made where that machine's going to say it's a strike where not everybody's going to agree. So why not make it happen and let it happen, and then have the umpires just going to, obviously police everything. But I welcome it because it's important that we get it right for both sides.
Right.
Without a doubt. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, I was going to ask about the why do you think that teams have gone away from that hit and run that used to be real big in the 90s and 80s? And even the early 2000s.
It's very easy. You know why? To answer that, because it's all power driven. It's all about how far can you hit it, and launch angles and exit velocity and things like that. So, and the main thing is it pays. Guys know they get paid. You hit 20 home runs, you drive in 60 runs, and you hit 220, you're going to get paid. And that's the main drive right there. More emphasis on hitting balls in the air. More swings and misses are part of the game right now. Pitchers have taken advantage of all of that. But I think also in pitching, we have more throwers than we have pitchers. And just learning the craft of pitching is a very respected pitching coach told me, a couple of years ago, he goes, I want pitchers to not worry so much about their pitch design, but making better pitches. You can make a good pitch at 85 miles an hour, well located with a fastball, 99, and it could be a good pitch. And that's what I'm talking about. Not taken away from the way the game's being played today, which I do enjoy, the pace and things like that. But there's some things that I think can still be better about the game to make it more encouraging, and also to make that one kid that doesn't have the power, okay, that's a scrappy player, feel welcome, like he belongs in the big leagues, because there's a chance for a David Eckstein, for example, that who would have thought is going to be an MVP, is going to play that long in the big leagues, and a shortstop, right? So
right.
Things like that for those kids. But everything else the commissioner has done in inviting the younger audience in somehow with a lot of the initiatives have been superb. And I'm a big part of that, knowing that I like to teach the game the way it was taught to me, to keep it simple, to explain the game, and know that we never stop learning about what's going to happen every single night. So I do like change.
Yeah.
I like the game evolving. There's some tradition in me too, respecting the game and knowing what to do and looking well as we play the game. But I do love the hit and run and the run and hits and the stolen bases, and because it makes the game more active,
right.
and it keeps a team that's struggling from saying, hey, it's not all about power. We have contact guys, so emphasize more contact like Toronto did, like Milwaukee did, and that makes the game more interesting and more pressure on the defensive side.
Well, when you look at the Yankees under Torrey and Zimmer, what are you seeing? You see Chuck Knobloch get on with a bunt or, a hit through the, middle, right? And then Jeter, he hits him over. And then O'Neill gets the guy in.
Yeah,
and then so on.
Game.
Yeah.
Fundamental game. I mean, I know that, we also gotten away from the bunt. If I can get a man in scoring position and have them a little bit closer home plate, why wouldn't I do that? Obviously not with everybody, but I think that sometimes the bunting gets a bad rap all around. Obviously, guys don't know how to bunt now with the way they did back in the day. But I think it's an art that could be reintroduced, because third basemen don't like people to bunt on them. First basemen don't like it either. Pitchers get rattled sometimes when they have a team that's scrappy and is going to bunt the ball. So why not have that aspect of the game instead of saying it's either going to be a walk, strikeout, or home run? No, or fly ball out. And guys that run, putting the ball in play on the ground is important to me. That can be brought back even more, and not put everybody in a capsule where OPS is one thing they measure a lot of people on, but OPS does not apply to everybody. You cannot throw it as a blanket state, because I don't care about Ichiro Suzuki's OPS. Why would I care about that?
No.
Why? Right?
Right.
The guy hits for average. He had extra bases, and he got on base.
Oh yeah, and he was probably the best. He was probably the best bunter I ever saw.
So yeah, things like that I think overall need to be looked at individually in his organizations, and even in youth baseball, a little bit different, because not everybody is the same. Not everybody's going to be an Ohtani. Not everybody's going to be a Judge or a Chubb. But there's a lot of scrappy players out there that are very good players that need a better chance.
Oh yeah, we had an earlier question. I don't. I've been strolling up and down to see who it was, but they wanted to ask you the balls that you have in back of you. What significant names do you have signed? Obviously, you have some signed, or all of them signed. It's a couple.
Well, my center one here. They're all special baseball. I got Trout, Matt Guerrero, Pujols, Manuel Ramirez, A-Rod. I got my dad. I got For Love of the Game. I have the '84 World Series when we won. My first hit in the big leagues, and others around. I got Avril Lavigne there too. Many great players. Team balls, Bartolo Colon ball MVP. Francisco Rodriguez. Frankie gave me one of his saves when he saved 62 games. So they're all there.
You got to add Aaron Judge in there.
I got to get a judge ball. Yeah, see, I'm not
And
one
then
that goes around
you
looking
gotta
for
give.
autographs and things like that. But I hope to get one from him because he's a. I don't even have an Otani autograph ball, so that's fine too. I mean, these are
Well,
guys that I cover and I enjoy. They're my friends, but I respect their time and I know my position too as a broadcaster. So, and a lot of people have asked me like, "Why are there so many empty spaces?" I'm like, because they're going to be added a little bit later, and I want to keep the space open for them.
That's
right.
awesome.
Or
And
imagine.
How do you like? How do you
my
like?
Kevin Costner baseball too, very special there too.
Oh wow.
Wow. Evan, any questions?
Well, I did see one from Benji earlier. He was asking, I think, about one of the Dodgers coaches. He said,
Yeah,
Oh, the
he
third
said
base coach.
third
Yes.
base coach.
Dino Evil.
Dino Ebel.
Oh, he's outstanding.
Abel.
He's outstanding. I got to meet Dino when he was a player. I got to see Dino become a coach with the Dodgers. Then Dino came to the Angels. Fantastic instructor, teacher. He could manage in the big leagues if he really pursues that. Very great instinct for base running, infield play, outfield play, and for base running, not just in waving guys in, but in teaching how to be a good base runner.
Mhm.
Dino was the most influential person with Mike Trout.
Wow.
Mike Trout learned to develop his stolen base abilities thanks to Dino Evil and Ron Renicky. And so Dino is outstanding, and his
Yeah.
kids,
Wow.
outstanding players themselves. Watch out for the Dino Evil brothers because they are special players.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that sounds amazing, and you've had and I'll tell you, you've had an amazing career, amazing run from your family, from what you do, and God willing, I hope it lasts another 100 years. And I'm. What is your thoughts too on being on MLB Network?
Oh,
Which I
MLB
think
Network,
you do
it's
a
so
great
cool
job.
because they started back in 2009.
Yep.
Before MLB Network, I was already doing things for MLB International, and I was already working some things and features and specials with MLB Productions. And then MLB Radio came along before that too, and I was working there with Dave Sims himself and others, Dave Pash and others involved. And when MLB Network came along, it was almost like a natural fit. Now going to the TV section, but I've been doing TV with the Angels for years before that, and I was so blessed and doing TV for Big Fox before MLB Network too. And then I recall when I got that call, it was like, okay, MLB is going to have a network, and I'm part of that. I feel so blessed and so privileged, so honored, and I knew that it's going to be more of a national stage. Players watch it all the time. I was receiving feedback from players and friends around the league and around the world, and it is a very special place. Harold Reynolds is one of my best friends in baseball and in broadcasting, and all of them, they're just so good at what they do, so prepared. The resources are there. So I applaud, from Bud Selig to Rob Manfred and making this a premier channel. I worked Mass Version, not only the MLB Network, but also with the Angels for some time. And what they do is so special and so superb. And they really carry the game the way it should be carried, in taking the fans inside and getting the big guys to talk to them and explain their stories. And very quickly, though, before I go, so MLB Network first went on air. They called me and said, hey, our first live production is going to be the Caribbean World Series.
Yeah, I remember that.
So myself, were called in, including my broadcast partner was Cookie Rojas for that series.
Oh wow.
And we were in studio, but I was doing the play-by-play, and Cookie, outstanding player himself. I got to work with his son Victor with the Angels, and Cookie was such a blast to work with. But that was almost like a test to them, like doing a live production, even though we were in studio and the World Series was in Mexicali, Mexico, the Caribbean Series. But it was like they're like, by the way, after the first game we did, they're like, you became the first play voice ever on MLB Network.
Wow.
Who was that? Well, okay, thank you.
Yeah, you should pat yourself on the back and be very proud because you do You do a tremendous job, and it's an honor to have you on our show.
Thank
really
you.
is.
I'm
Hope
so
you come
proud.
back. You have carte blanche anytime you want. We do have a little a surprise for you before you go, though, and
What
we're
do you
going to bring
got?
you a little surprise. But I want to tell you that this has been an honor, and you've got to come back. And we'd love to say hello to your dad one day. And he's an inspiration to us all for what he did, even if it was pinch hitting or running. I respect that man very, very much in growing up in as a baseball fan. So thank you so much to your father, to your family for teaching, for showing us the real true meaning of playing a kid's game.
Thank you
And we
so
really
much.
appreciate that.
Still feel
And
like a kid. Still learning, still trying to get better. Thank you.
yeah, and with that, I'm going to bring up a little surprise for you.
Yo,
There
what's
he
up, Jose?
Hey,
How you been, my guy? How you
Que
been?
pasa, my friend? How are you, man? You're all
Good.
grown
How are
up
you?
now.
Yeah, let's go. How
Doing
you
great,
doing?
man. Thank you for having me with your friends. It's been quite an honor. Nice ride. Good
Hey,
to
no
talk to them.
problem. Hey, thank you for joining Joe, Sean, and Evan. They do a great job. And by the way, all the guests that've been coming on this show is through me. So
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
Thank
So
you very much. Hey, guys, happy holidays. Merry Christmas. All the blessings to you guys, and be safe. Okay?
Same to you,
Thank you.
Jose.
And
The
please
honor
come
and the
back.
privilege.
We'd love to see you again.
thank
Thanks
you,
a lot.
Jose.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yeah,
God
have,
bless.
have a great holiday
God
too.
bless.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Yeah.
All
Good-
right. That was
Good job.
awesome.
Great job, guys, with Jose. Good job.
That's
Awesome.
great.
Very,
But
very.
yeah,
What a scholar. What a wow. What a big hit. What a very, very nice guy that he is. And
Well, my team and I are working on getting his father too for you guys. So stay tuned.
oh wow.
Matty
I mean,
Moda. You're gonna make Benji. Benji may never leave the station. He loves us. Right? If you keep doing the Dodgers, he's gonna flip. So yeah, no, thank you, Nathan. Personally, to thank you for. I mean, even getting it, guys. Even he got us a guest right a day before Christmas. I mean, how cool is that? How cool is that? It's an honor that. I mean, listen, we're 5 months old. We're babies. 6 months old. All right, I'll give myself we'll give ourselves another month, and we're interviewing people on Christmas. I mean, it's just makes my job. It's not a job. I just love this. I love working with Nitin. I love working with each and every one of these people. But to know that they take a little time out of their Christmas holiday. You don't know how much time they spend with their family. Just think about it. A reporter, somebody who covers all these games. It's not easy, but to do something like that, you got to be a special person. And thank you, Nitin, for that. That means a whole
Well,
lot.
my team also. So
Well, yeah, but we want them on, and
I know.
I'm tired of asking you.
hey, you know what? We appreciate you and your team. I mean, that's like this. I mean, Jose Moto is he was absolutely awesome having him on here. I learned a lot more about how all that stuff comes around. Because I mean, we get to hear these great play-by-play and color commentary and some of our favorites like Bobby Mercer, Ken Singleton, and the list goes on. But we don't really get to understand what they got to do in preparation and behind the scenes, and you know
Yeah,
we
a lot of people don't get this opportunity. So, especially someone, like me, I never thought I'd be, asking these types of important people these questions who work in the industry. So it's really, really
Well,
cool.
thank you, Evan. I appreciate that.
Well, like
Oh,
I said,
you too, Joe. You
like
too.
I said, I always tell
You worked in
people.
the industry.
I always tell people it's all about knowing the right people and having the right mentors, which I have. And my team and I, we have the strong networking base here in all sports, where we can provide people with the best athletes possible, and not only athletes, like entertainment people, also like actors, actresses, singers, and you name it. And Evan, it's like we didn't expect you to be able to do this either, and obviously Joe giving you the opportunity, we're giving you the opportunity to interview our clients, which is cool, kind of cool, and you're learning each day about these players and their careers, and it's cool. It's really special to see like a guy like Evan, who's an accounting major, 21 years old, and now doing all this. It's and mixing it with accounting is truly amazing to see. And even with Sean, the security, obviously 16 hours. I don't know how he does it, but he's killing it with this channel. And we have a whole bunch of this crew is a jack of all trades, like Chef Nick. Man. Wait, who's that?
Joe just likes pushing with the buttons.
Soundbite.
That's one of my new ones when Cashman's trying to make a trade.
Cashman and Boris.
Yeah, but it's knowing all the right people in this industry, pretty much. In order to succeed, you gotta network and then know the right people.
Yep. And again, it's been an honor to just broadcast everything for you guys, and God willing, we're going to be doing this for many years. And listen, times change, but one thing that doesn't change is baseball will always be here. Everything. Well, we would hope so. We won't talk strike or lockout until next year, but it'll always be here. The guests will always be here. Microphones will be here, way beyond everybody. But the bottom line is enjoy it while you can. This is like the closest. This show is one of the closest that you can really get to touch a superstar, an all-star, a player, an actress, an actor. And it's true. It's true. A lot of shows, go on, but they talk one-on-one, but we try to go a step further, and we let everybody get involved. And sooner or later, we will do something where we have a big name, an actor, actress, or a baseball player, whatever, and you can come up for a question or two. That's something I think you guys would really enjoy. And we're going to work on that in the upcoming season. So, guys, stay tuned for everything that's happening. And also remember, everyone, at 8 o'clock tonight, we're going to have our Christmas Spectacular show with Chef Nick. He's going to come on. We're going to have a really, really great show. And he's going to dissect all different types of different things you can put on the table for Christmas and all. It's going to be a real happening, everyone. So stick around. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we have more to come. I have another announcement to make of another Christmas, New Year's show that's going to be coming up soon. So stay tuned and come at 8 o'clock. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe, everyone. We really appreciate that. Guys, some final words?
Yeah, just thank you guys for coming. It's great to obviously get perspectives of different people in the industry, and to have people in the chat like Benji too, who's a Dodgers fan. I'm guessing he's an older Dodgers fan, so for him to relate to our guests is awesome. It's great, and he provided one of my questions that I was going to ask about the third base coach for the Dodgers, so that was great. And just thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing, liking. A lot more stuff coming up. So don't forget tonight with Chef Nick and Joe, the Christmas special show. That should be a lot of fun to listen to. Looking forward to that. And, have a great holiday season. Have a great Christmas Eve tomorrow. So wish you guys the best.
Yeah, we're going to, if available, we will do a morning show tomorrow morning for a little bit. And get to just one more time wish you a very, very happy Merry Christmas. Evan and Sean and Nitin, if you're available for a little bit, we want to come on and wish each and every one of our fans, our viewers, a very, very Merry Christmas Eve tomorrow, and of course the day. So if you guys will grace us, we really appreciate it. We'll come on at 9 o'clock for a little bit, and just to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas. So if
Yeah.
you guys are in, I'm definitely in.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, we're in.
All right.
Uh,
Go ahead. Final thoughts, Sean?
yeah, I just want to say Merry Christmas to everyone. Guys, be safe while if you're driving to wherever you gotta go to grandma's house or mama's house or whoever house. Um, enjoy the holidays. Don't worry about it. We'll all be here to help you guys out. Be there for you. And if anything happens, we'll try to cover it. But if not, hey, we're gonna enjoy Christmas and we'll definitely cover it when we come back on Friday
Yep. Saturday, actually.
or Saturday.
Saturday. All right. Well, thank you, Sean, for that. And Nitin?
Well, great job, Joe, Sean, and Evan with Jose. You guys did a great job with that. Shout out to the chat for some great questions for Jose. So keep up the great work, everyone, and please tune in to Chef Nick and Joe's show at 8 o'clock, and they're going to do a great job and kill that one. And please subscribe to our Job in the Mouth show also, and Nitin Sports Rush, and also subscribe to this show here. Continue liking and subscribing. So a lot of big things happening, and stay tuned.
Well, thank you. And everyone, like I said, little 20-minute break. We have another stream, guys. So we're going to leave this stream and we're going to go to that one. Have your questions ready. It's going to be a fun show, a fun night. And who knows, maybe the Yankees will do something. And a little bit after that show, we'll talk about it. So you never know in the sports world. Things have happened on New Year's Eve, Christmas Day, you name it. It's been done, so you just never know.
There is a Christmas, man.
Yeah. With that in mind, everyone, God bless you all. God bless America. And please come back in 20 minutes to our other link of Christmas traditions. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night. Take care. Thank you.
Rock on,
Thank
guys.
you, Sean. Thank you, Nitin, as always.